Over the years, Luffy has gained access to several forms to combat his opponents at different times and overcome them with all his might, some which has allowed him to compete with dangerous villains that crew members can't fight. Here are all of Luffy's current forms, ranked by strength. We'll start backward and go towards ranked 1, which is the most dangerous. Ranked 7th, Gear 2nd. After fighting Aokiji, Luffy figured that he had to get stronger quickly or not be able to protect any of his crewmates after losing to CP9. Seeing them use the Soru technique, Luffy developed the Gear. The Gear 2 technique involves Luffy increasing the blood flow in parts of his body to increase his speed and strength and releasing excess energy through perspiration. By using a combination of Haki and Gear 2, Luffy is able to punch opponents with such speed and force that it causes his fists to ignite into a shroud of flames, which Luffy calls Red Hawk. By the time of the raid on Onigashima, his Red Hawk was strong enough that it forced Kaido, one of the strongest pirates in the world, who was renowned for his near indestructible body, to actually dodge the attack. Ranked 6th, Gear 3rd. Introduced in Chapter 403, Gear 3 is a technique in which Luffy increases his size and stature by blowing air into his thumb and inflating the bones in his body considerably. It may seem silly enough, but the massive balloon effect gives Luffy a significant size advantage that is hard to combat. Gear 3rd was developed by Luffy during the same time when he came up with the idea to use Gear 2nd. However, the application of this gear is completely different. Unlike Gear 2nd, this gear doesn't have much to do with speed and instead focuses on power. Ranked 5th, Gear 2nd plus Gear 3rd. Luffy can also use Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd to increase his mobility and get further stronger. This was first seen during his fight against 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐬𝐷, where just one gear's power wasn't enough. As a result, Luffy used both gears to unleash a power known as 𝐜𝐮𝐤𝐷 Giant Jet Shell. Before the time skip, it was said to have adverse effects on Luffy's lifespan. However, this doesn't seem to be the case, as Luffy used them together many times, including the time when he fought Yamato. Ranked 4th, Nightmare Luffy. Introduced in Chapter 476, Nightmare Luffy is a temporary transformation the protagonist underwent after consuming 100 shadows from the rolling pirates at Thriller Bark. In taking on Moria and the Oars, Nightmare Luffy turns into an incredible hulking blue mass that makes him even more comment on how powerful he feels. After destroying the forest in his new form, Nightmare Luffy continues to grow and stretch into a gargantuan shadow that easily defeats the Oars thanks to the powerful 𝐵𝐵𝐵 no Bazooka technique. Alas, this was the last time Luffy assumed his ultra-powerful nightmare form. Hopefully the storyline from the manga will be expanded on the One Piece Netflix show. Ranked 3rd, Gear 4th, Tank Man. Introduced in Chapter 843, Luffy's almighty Gear 4 forms come in various iterations in the manga. In terms of powers, Tank Man is the first level of Luffy's Gear 4 form. Similar to Gear 3, Luffy inflates his muscles rather than his bones, which may hurt his durability, but definitely emboldens his superhuman strength. As Tank Man, Luffy literally morphs into an impenetrable tank-like superstructure that is nearly impossible to defeat. Just ask Charlotte Cracker, who Luffy took down in a single shot thanks to the number of cookies he ate in his Tank Man form. Also known as Luffy's Manpuku version, Luffy unfortunately never assumed the form again. Ranked 2nd, Gear 4th, Snake Man. Introduced in Chapter 894, Luffy's Serpentine Gear 4 Snake Man form is among his most powerful transformations of all. As vicious as it sounds, Snake Man doesn't expand or stretch as much as Luffy's other forms, but instead turns Luffy's hair into an incendiary substance that delivers considerable damage to any body part. The form also includes Python mode, which allows Luffy to swiftly alter the direction of his attacks. By using the armament Haki, Luffy's Snake Man form increases his speed significantly while keeping his body slender to avoid direct hits. Arguably Luffy's fastest form, the pirate used his Snake Man visage to outrace Charlotte Katakuri and defeat her in the nick of time. Now comes the final form, Ranked 1. Before I tell you this, let's see how many of you can guess as a true One Piece fan. Pause the video and comment down below. Let's see the real fans. Done writing? It's Gear 4th, Bounce Man. Introduced in Chapter 784, Luffy's Gear 4 Bound Man, aka Bounce Man, form is his most powerful in the One Piece manga. Despite being his first Gear 4 morph, it's the mightiest due to the way it seemingly combines the principles of the Saru technique with those of the Rokushiki and Geppo. Luffy's rubbery elasticity allows him to inflate his muscles, bounce up and down in the air, using speed on the ground, and the ability to ricochet attacks with ease. It's the rubber versus glue effect. Luffy not only increases in size considerably, overpowering much slighter foes effortlessly, but the King Organ and King Kong gun techniques he can use in the Bounce Man form instantly puts him atop the food chain. The combination of speed, size, and powerful attacks is simply too much to deal with for most opponents. We know Luffy is the hero, but what about the villains, the pirate crews? So to the top 10 most powerful pirate crews in One Piece, where we have ranked first the most dangerous pirate crew. Watch this video.